don't know when it'll wear off how excited I am about having like an opening. Like the fact
It's
that
so good. I was like watching this, I was like, wow, this is so well done.
the fact that I even have that makes me feel like such a grown up. Like I'm like, this is a whole
really
adult
good.
situation we got going on here. All right. It's another Tribe Talking on a Tuesday with Miriam. And today I have as my guest, I'm fangirling, darling. I'm fangirling. All right, Miss Annalisa. Now, is it Diaz or is it Diaz or Diaz?
Yeah, you're right.
Diaz.
Diaz.
Okay. I want to get it right. So, let me tell you how many. Let me tell you something. I'm a country girl, right? And I read stuff, and I studied English. And still, when I say I mess up the phonetics of things so bad, and like people have come on here who've known me for years. Okay. I'm talking about we've stayed at each other's homes. And I was like, oh, such and such, da, 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 like that is not how you say my name. And I was like,
well, you did it right. You said it right. It's all good.
This one score for me. All right. So we're going to jump into this thing. And the way that we start all of our shows is you give us a 30-second commercial, who you are, what you got going on, what you want us to know about you in your 30-second commercial.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, hello. My name's Annalisa. I use she, her pronouns, calling from Piscataway land, colonially known as Baltimore, Maryland, by the waters of the Chesapeake Bay. And the land here has also been cared for by the Lumbee, Lenape, and Susquehannock peoples. And what do I got to tell you about me? My full-time job is that I'm the Director of Artistic Partnerships and Innovation at Baltimore Center Stage. And that is a combination of, it's like new work development and civic programming and all manner of things, which we can talk about a little later. And then outside of that, I'm also a playwright and director and performer and co-founder of Groundwater Arts, which is advocating for climate justice within arts organizations and more broadly. And I'm sure we can talk plenty more about that too. So that's my 30 seconds.
Yay! I have you here, sis. What's up? Let me tell you. Y'all check in the comments. Let us know who's here as you come in, as you go. I normally pin that. Hi, Jaren. She said you said a lot. Shout out to the native. Yes, absolutely. We always honor the people who everywhere you are, you're on stolen ground, pretty much here.
Yeah.
So I told a bit of a story on Instagram. I wrote a bit of a story on Instagram about how like the first.
Oh my God, are you going to tell this story now?
I have to. Is that okay? Are you embarrassed?
Yeah, it makes me laugh.
It's hilarious because you don't know what happened after. I left that part out of the Instagram, right? So
wait, do I know what happened after?
I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to like sit and tell you.
Oh, okay. Well, so I'm ready.
It's like it's yummy, right?
Yeah.
So COVID shut that down, but I hosted a convening and we got 3 years in.
Yeah.
So the Tribe Fest DC convening, right? And the first year that we hosted the convening, we had the guy who wrote the DC Cultural Plan come and like introduce like, because I was like, why doesn't anybody know that this is a thing? Like I was really frustrated about how I found out. And then of course, knowing that most people didn't know. And so I put out a thing for volunteers and Annalisa was like, tag me in, coach. But I had never met her.
I know this is the way that we met each other. So I didn't know. And mind you, I was running, like I think I said be there at 8 and I got there like 8:15 and you were sitting there on the thing like I was ready.
So ready. And so ready. And mind you, it's embarrassing because I only lived 2 blocks up the street at the time. So I was like, damn, how she beat me here. So anyway, yes, Tribe Fest was the best. Thank you, Kim. Kimberly. Okay, anyway. So I get her in this room and I'm running in and out, but every time I come in, it's like I walk in at like the very beginning of like some very real question that Annalise is asking, like, well, how many people did you actually talk to? And where did you find these people? And are these the same people that belong to the And I was sitting there like, yes, these are all the questions I would ask. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to go. I'll be back. Right. And so I was coming in and out. After it was over, he comes up to me because, I was videotaping. He comes up to me.
I don't think I clocked that was being recorded. That's really funny.
The whole thing was recorded, and the whole thing was recorded for the purpose of sharing, like putting it out there.
Right.
And he was like, do you mind not sharing?
Stop it.
And I'm gonna I still have the footage, mind you, but I'm gonna tell you the only reason I didn't share it was because when I went back to watch it, as a regular person who was not in that conversation, I would have been confused about what to do next.
Yeah.
And the last thing we do here is like rip Band-Aids off, tell people that there's a problem, and then not be able to give them like a resolve. And I actually did not know at the time what the resolve was. So that's the only, I didn't not share it because he asked me to, but that man came out sweating. His face was red. When I say he pulled me to the side, he came looking for me. Okay. And I was like, because when he first got there, he was like, and we've spoken before. I've partnered with the Office of Planning lots of times. And so we had spoken before. And so when he got there, he was like, oh, Miriam, da, 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 da. Well, just so you know, I have a hard stop and I have to go. And I was like, okay. And then afterwards, he was like, where's Miriam?
Oh my
and I was like, Annalisa set you up. You ain't even know what you were into, but it was the truth. You did all the right things, and I appreciate that about you. And from that point forward, I was like, okay, now I have to stalk her and see what she's doing in life. And you're fucking rad, yo! Like it's crazy. Like seriously, I don't. As a grown adult living in the world, sucking up air and doing all the things, I do not know conceptually much about climate justice, and I hope you're going to give us a little bit of tea.
Oh yeah. That's common though. That's like there's a whole thing,
right? And it's your bag, so I'm going to ask you how you got into your bag and what that looks like for us, the people who don't know anything about it, because we want to support you and we also want to live long.
And for like, I just said hello to Josiah. I'm like, what about these kids too? Like we gotta make the planet habitable for them.
I know he's so little, but he's so big. When you were, he was a baby at that.
He was a baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I came in late, toting him. Anyway, go ahead. Please tell us. Talk to me about the decolonizing theater. Talk about. No. That's not where we're going. We're going with. You have a project right now removing fuel or fossil fuel. So talk about that in relationship to climate justice.
Yeah, totally. Okay, well, before we get to that, I just have to love on you also.
I'll take it. No.
Because I have to say that like that moment that we met, I like knew that you were an artist and kick-ass human in the DC theater community, performing arts world. And I was like, how do I be friends with Miriam? How do I be friends with Miriam? And I was like, maybe if I go to this thing that she's hosting, maybe this is how I'll be friends with Miriam.
What?
So, I was
like, you should have just sent me a Facebook. We could have went
and I was just trying to be your friend, and then I walked into this thing with the cultural plan guy, and I was like, well, I need to set the record straight with this man too. But it looks like it worked.
I also feel like I've never had anybody say they wanted to be my friend like that before.
Oh yeah,
that's dope. I feel special.
All the people were like, you and Miriam, you really got to know Miriam. Like you two would get along.
No, and I still hear that to this day. I still hear people be like, well, do you know Annalisa? And I'm like, yeah, that's my people. I mean, I low-key be flexing and like we barely talk, but I'd be like, no, that's my folks. But I get that a lot. People are like, people ask me all the time, do I know you?
Oh my
especially
God,
like that, especially the academic circle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't consider you. I mean, I believe that you're brilliant, and I think that you're intelligent. But a lot of times in that circle, I feel like that circle is very elitist, and I don't necessarily understand how you get it, how you get through there. But they also talk to me, so maybe I should be asking the same question about myself. But
that's a whole other topic of conversation about academic elitism and the nonsense.
I hate it so much.
I'm going to put a pin in that. We can come back to it later.
Please. Okay, but first, let's focus.
Yeah. Okay, we're focusing.
We're focusing, friends.
We're talking about the Divest to Invest campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, can I drop a link in here? How do I do that?
Yeah, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
Or tell me and I'll put it in the comments.
I don't think I can do it. I'm going to send it to you though.
Okay.
Okay, here you go. I'm going to send you this link.
Being friends with Miriam. Yes, we are part of a bomb ass club. Y'all are just sizing me today. Y'all just don't know.
Okay, I sent you this link to add to the comments. Okay. It is a link to the Groundwater Arts Divest to Invest campaign. Mm-hmm. And this is a campaign that Groundwater Arts has been running for this past year. And we are attempting to get individual arts workers and arts organizations to divest from fossil fuels. And it's like, briefly, it's a pledge that anybody can sign. And there's a bunch of different levels of, not levels is not the right word, but different kinds of pledges that, hi, Josiah.
Hi. Bye. I'm listening, I promise.
So big. When did this child get so big? I don't understand.
He's ginormous, and it's not going to he eats so much food. And he's perfect. So, but I'm listening. So, but pause before you continue. I have a question. How are theaters using fossil fuels?
Oh my God! Right, of course. How are theaters using fossil? So it's mostly in terms of arts organizations. It is mostly they show up in sponsorship, like corporate sponsorships.
Okay.
So, for example, Shell is one of the biggest funders of the New Orleans Jazz Festival, right? Like Shell Oil. And
damn, you would say that knowing I'm down here in New Orleans.
I would, wouldn't I?
Now I got a whole nother job to do.
But self-accountability too, right? Baltimore Gas and Electric, BG&E, is like they're represented on the Baltimore Center Stage board. Right.
Oh, shit.
So like the relationships between fossil fuel companies and fossil fuel interests go deep in the arts.
But you work for Baltimore Center Stage. So how does that are you getting flack for running this campaign while they have these people on the board? Like, how does this work?
No. It's like we're just having real conversations about what does it mean for like Baltimore Center Stage, which has these like long relationships with people like BG&E, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean for us to think about divesting? So Baltimore Center Stage is a large regional theater that does have an endowment, right? So that's another way that arts organizations are invested currently in fossil fuels is through these large endowment funds, right? Like we have money that's actually invested in the stock market, and it's often invested in fossil fuel interest. So like that's a way that at Center Stage, what I understand is that our finance committee on our board is thinking about directing our fund managers. It's so complicated and so wild, but this is how money works. But there's conversation about directing our fund managers to remove the investments in fossil fuels and move it to more socially responsible funds that are like they want to prioritize Black-owned funds and women-owned businesses. So that's part of the conversation at BCS. I
got so many questions.
Stop me.
So many questions. And y'all, please, if you have questions, please give us the questions. Right? I know I can't be the only one with questions. So, okay. How did you even find out? Like, what made you, like, how did you even...
How did I find out what?
Like, how did you even just, like, look? Like, where did you know to look? Like, I wouldn't wake up and say, let me go research what theaters are connected to.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. So this is partly because I'm tapped into organizing that is like regional and national. Right. So if you look at movement organizing like 350.org, for example, they're a global organization that is sort of spearheading, and they have been spearheading the work around divesting from fossil fuels for like decades, actually.
Okay.
And one of their 3 key strategies around divesting is divesting public institutions like the arts sector.
Okay.
And when they say public institutions, they're also talking about divesting universities. They're talking about divesting museums are some of the biggest perpetuators of this. Like the Smithsonian, right? Or in
all the places we love now, we have to go and yell at them. Just to be clear. Okay.
There was some real traction that was made maybe like 5 or 6 years ago in the UK, where BP, British Petrol, right, was like a lead sponsor at the British Science Museum. I'm going to mess this up. It's like the British Science Center or Science Museum. And then I think also at the Tate Museum and Tate Modern. And there were artists campaigning to divest those public institutions from sponsorship of BP. And they did all kinds of like really interesting, you can Google like.
I think I know someone who was helping with that. Do you know Amber Adeline Day?
No. Do I? I don't think I do.
You should know her.
Oh,
I want to say she like scaled a building or something doing like
there's so I met some of the folks from Liberate Tate. They were like in DC back in like 2015 or 2016 or something like that. And they were talking about some of the work that they were doing. That was like everything from organizing letter drops. Like they wrote a bunch of letters to the head of the Tate Museum and like dropped them and organized this whole action. Then there was a moment where they poured, it was like fake oil, but oil around one of the statues that was like the big centerpiece statue in one of the museums that was like sponsored. It was like underwritten by BP, so they like poured oil all around it.
I also want to be very clear. This is activism.
Oh yeah. This
is activism. So I talk a lot about the difference. I talk a lot about the difference between advocacy and activism.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Like so, this conversation, while I am like simply like I am intrigued and I even just name dropped and whatever, I don't do any of that. I respect the fuck out of people who can, like the people who are like, today I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to throw oil on this thing. Like, I think that's gangster. I'm at home making sure that they get home safely. That's my gig.
Totally. That's real. That's needed.
So if we ever needed an explanation of like the difference, again, this is another point in like where we can say that is activism.
Yeah.
Kicking the door in, and then they're the advocates.
In DC, Extinction Rebellion, there's a chapter of Extinction Rebellion that's been doing a lot of arts organizing.
Extinction Rebellion. I'm typing all these things you're saying. Extinction Rebellion.
Yeah, Extinction Rebellion DC. They're like, I think they're on Instagram. It's like XRDC or something like that. And they're organizing quite a lot of creative, art-driven actions in DC around the fossil fuel industry. So if people are looking for things all the time, oh my God, all the time. There was just something I saw they posted the other day. I think it was the DC chapter that did it. It was sort of like an installation where it was like several weeks ago when there was like that big rainstorm that came through and there was a lot of flooding. They made this sort of like installation type thing. I think this was them. They made this installation where it was like it looked like the buildings were further underwater than they actually were, but it was sort of like a call out to like, this is where we're headed.
How do like people need some like I feel like I'm tapped in, right? Oh. Like seriously, like I feel like I be knowing what's going on. Like most of the time I'm the plug, right? Like I'm the resource. Totally. I don't know nothing about this. The floating house.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Did you know who that was, Jaren? You know who did that?
I'm pretty sure that was at least partly Extinction Rebellion. I'm sure there were other folks involved in it.
I want to be tapped. I mean, I don't want to I don't want to make houses float, but I want to be there to like tell people.
But this is what I'm saying. It wasn't like that was an art installation.
I mean, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there are people who need to know that they're doing this work, you know. And I talk a lot. I'm a good mouthpiece. Like I want tag me in. You had no idea, Jared. Tag me in. I would love to meet these people, and not for nothing, they need to be training more folks on how to do this shit.
Totally. As far as I understand, I mean, I'm now in Baltimore, so I haven't really been connected.
Girl, you are up the street.
I know, but I haven't been connected with the folks that are doing the real organizing with Extinction Rebellion right now in DC, just because I'm here in Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out.
What I know is that, remember when back in 2017, DC, there was the like big People's Climate March.
And I do remember that. Yes.
So a lot of the folks that were arts organizers for that, I think, like filtered into Extinction Rebellion and other organizing bodies within the DC community, because the People's Climate Movement kind of like descended on DC. It like connected a bunch of us in a lot of really cool ways. But then when the People's Climate Movement left, I think a lot of us looked at each other and we were like, well, how do we keep the energy? How do we keep connected to each other? And I think some of those folks ended up with organizing with Extinction Rebellion.
We need an app.
I know. Yeah. Wait, say more.
I mean, I don't know if that would be good.
Like what kind of?
I also get mad when people tell, like, when they say too early that stuff is happening. Like, you can't tell people that you're gonna like protest like a month in advance and think that it's not gonna be like turn into a mess. But like, I feel like I need, like, there should be something where people can be like, I want to get involved with this thing, and like they can tap, and if somebody can be like, oh girl, we're gonna be at the such and such. Yeah, I feel like we should have a thing like that. No? Should we have a thing like that?
Maybe.
Did I lose your sound?
Is that, oh no, can you hear me?
Something just happened.
Uh-oh. I can hear you just fine.
Say something.
Can you hear me?
Can y'all hear her? Oh, there you are. I was like, damn.
Oh, I was gonna say, this whole time I can hear you.
I was like, what happened? I'm sad. Okay. Oh. So let me ask this. We've kind of gotten off a bit, right? I do want to learn something, right? So we're not talking about actual use of fossil fuel. Like, we're not talking about like the theaters running off of fossil fuels. We're talking about taking their money, right?
Yeah, well, yes.
It's basically like using dirty money, which is a problem. That's a huge problem, because then you're indebted to these people, and it becomes like a thing. It's like it continues to go. Yeah,
the organizing, the like organizing around divesting, what they call that is a social license to operate. For like public institutions, theater organizations included. When we accept sponsorships from like BP or Shell or BG&E or whatever the fossil fuel interest is, then we're like art washing. That's a term that gets used. We're like giving these dirty fossil fuel companies, we're giving them our branding, like our public good, like the work that we are doing that is for the public good gets attached to BP, gets attached to Shell, gets attached to Exxon. And then all of a sudden, our audiences are like, oh, Exxon sponsors whatever art organization. They can't be that bad. Like, it makes their brand, it makes Exxon look better. When like objectively, they're destroying the planet.
Exactly. Oh,
yeah.
I feel like there's always like, how are you not tired? Like, I feel like
I am tired. Who are you kidding?
I was about to say, girl, I'm tired. Like, it's all like it's always something, and it always goes back to money. Like the way that people use money.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, and I'll also say too that's part of why, in some of these like climate justice movement circles, some of the focus tends to be on these like bigger policy, follow the money type change strategies, because all of the advocacy that you see around people being like, just change what straws you use, or like just eat something, like you as an individual eat plant-based food instead of meat. It keeps the responsibility on the individual when you think that way,
instead of
and that's like design. That's by design by all of these polluting industries, right? Like they want us to think that we are personally responsible, because then what are we going to do?
Threw the bottle out.
Buy their products. We're going to go buy the like paper straws. So it's all a design to like get us to buy more shit, right?
Yeah, for real.
So instead, it's like, how do we get out of that? Like, yes, of course, I individually do bear some amount of responsibility for taking care of the place that I live, right? This planet that we call home. But disproportionately, like it's unfathomable. The like actual proportion of harm is caused by 100 companies.
I couldn't even, I wouldn't even be able to in a lifetime if I wanted to. Right.
That's right.
But you know, that goes into that. I mean, that is a kind of a cross the board issue, right? Like even down to like where everybody's like self-care, 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 self-care. And you're like, dude, if everybody if we all collectively need to be taking like to go into like these intense modes of self-care and get therapy and all this other stuff, it's likely something bigger than us that's the problem. And we shouldn't be internalizing it as our own shit. You know what I mean? Like people are dying, you know. Like, you know,
I don't want to speak ill of self-care and like taking care with ourselves and all of these things that like that's necessary. But what I hear you saying is that like if it's a systemic solution, like how are we actually addressing the system and not just relying on like, okay, well, I'm like self-care and that will solve everything.
It's like if your kid breaks his arm and you go and you give it a kiss.
The kiss is not bad.
The kiss is not bad. The kiss made the kid feel better, but he's still got a fucking broken arm.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, see, you know, and like just like my kiddo, we have our favorite little restaurant. Well, we have lots of favorite restaurants because we eat, but we have this restaurant we go to, and they have compost straws, right? So bro was like, "What's compost?" And the only way, I don't know what made me think of like. I was like, I don't know. The only compost I know is like old food and like trash, and like, you know, you compost it to make soil, and sometimes you mix it with manure. My definition was trash for what compost is, right? So now my kid is like, yo, I was drinking out of a poop straw. Like all he heard was fertilizer. Never. Now it's a wrap. Like he's not even. Don't give him nothing. He'll drink from he's like, I'm not even scared if the cup's dirty, whatever. I ruined it for him. But it was also weird because like how like I was like, it's a compost straw? I was like, do you mean like
is it compostable? Is that what they meant?
I don't know, because they just said compost straw, and it was like this, and then it had the nerve to be brown, but it was like this brown.
I bet it was like compostable, which means that you can put it in a compost pile.
Probably, but that's not what Brett told me. He said compost straw. So when Josiah heard compost straw, he was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Only thing I know about compost."
No, compost is literally just like good, healthy.
And soil. I hate paper straws. Also that, like, I am not a fan of paper straws. I actually rebel against places that use paper straws. I know that that's counterintuitive to wanting to save the earth, but they don't work.
Oh, I see.
They're not useful.
I mean, plastic is like pretty objectively.
I feel like we just give me a metal straw.
Use globally, that is like one of the biggest problems affecting the planet. Part of the problem with the like focus on straws though was that it like that moment like
was definitely a moment.
It was like vilifying plastic straws though, and there are people that need for access purposes and for like health purposes they need plastic straws. Like
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And it was
being selfish.
It was like vilifying the fact of plastic straws.
I feel like there's almost no way to get it 100% right, but you got to do the best you can do, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate people, because I do have people who have been trying to like teach me little things, you know, like I do actually have a compost bucket.
Oh, good. That's great. Are you using it?
I do actually have. And then, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, am I just supposed to just throw stuff in it and just let it be there? Okay, so I was like,
what kind of bucket do you? Is it just like a little thing, like?
No, this lady gave me soil, like that she had made, because you can make soil. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
I'm a new gardener. I didn't know. So she made soil. I was like, I just thought you dig it, whatever. She made soil and she gave it to me, and she was like, there, you know, I could see in it there were like eggshells and like other things in it and stuff. And she was like, it's really good, and you just gotta, you know, keep it up. You just, you know, keep making new soil. And I was like,
oh, she gave you like compost starter then.
I didn't ask her like how.
This is hilarious.
I was like, okay.
I will say I'm also on a compost journey right now. I'm trying to make compost in my backyard because I now have a backyard.
Oh, that's right. You got that cute house.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So I'm like trying to make compost in my backyard, and you have to like get the mix right. First of all, you need to have, I don't know if you have like a bucket with a lid, and like, does it have,
there is a lid.
Does it have like, is it a tumbler or is it just a bucket?
You mean like, do it move?
Yeah.
Girl, you finna embarrass me out here in front of all these people. You know I don't know the answers to your
question. It's just a bucket.
It's just a bucket.
Okay, then that's not that. You can't actually make compost in that. That is like, you need to.
Don't tell me that, because I'm gonna go get my $20 back.
Turn it, like you put something in there and like turn it.
Oh no. She did show me, like, she I don't know what she was doing. Y'all, never mind. We're not talking about this no more.
Here's my suggestion.
Let me say what she did show me is, because what it has like it's like a bucket. I'll send you a picture of it. It's like a bucket, not even really a bucket. It looks kind of like an ice chest.
An ice. Oh,
it's like a little square thing. Uh-huh. I mean, she Jimmy rigged it at her house. Like, she has it at her house too, and she, like, you know.
You gotta mix it, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta mix it. Like, I would have to physically mix it myself.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay. So then the thing is, you have to get the mix right. You have to. There's like, I've been like Googling and looking for different ways of making compost. You have to get the mix of like organic material. It's like carbon-based material. So it's things like coffee grounds and eggshells and like food waste, right? Like, that's one kind of material. But then there's like nitrogen-based material, which is like dried leaves and like things from the like sticks and things from the yard, and you have to get the mix right, and that's what keeps the soil ecology balanced.
I'm not going to be successful at this. I'm just going to continue to buy my compost from.
Okay. So what you can do, if you're like, that is too much for me, is that many cities, DC, Baltimore, New Orleans included, have like community compost organizations where like you can collect your food waste instead of throwing it in the trash. You can collect your food waste in that bucket and then either take it to the community compost center and dump it there, or some cities, Baltimore has this, I don't know if New Orleans does, but some cities have organizations that will like, you sign up and they will send volunteers to come pick up your bucket and switch it out, and you get a new bucket every week or however.
Oh, see, that's what we need in life. Like, now that I know that that's a thing, that makes it.
Yeah.
Because I actually went and like, I bought all this stuff. I buy all the stuff, and then
but this is the thing. It's these green companies who are trying to get you to buy their shit.
Yeah, I get played all the time. I get played a lot. Have you done? Did you do the fellowship, the In the Woods New Orleans fellowship? Was that?
Mm-mm.
Are you gonna try for it?
No, I don't live in New Orleans.
You don't have to. It's a fellowship.
No, yes, you do. It's like for New Orleans people. It's like,
it is not.
People. Come on.
I don't believe it is. I feel like I found out about it from someone from Maryland.
Oh, did I send it to you?
Maybe. Either you or Omalara. Okay, but okay, can you tell me about, there was a project that you did, and I remember it was so beautiful, and I just remember it was dark. I want to say there were mushrooms.
Oh yeah, mushrooms. Mm-hmm.
What was that about?
Okay, yeah, that was a project called The Earth That Is Sufficient. I can give you the link to the chat. Here you go.
The Earth is Sufficient.
The Earth That Is Sufficient.
That is sufficient.
Mm-hmm. Did you come? You came to the like final performance at the Anacostia Playhouse?
No, I didn't get to. I saw it online. I saw the videos, and I was like, "This is so beautiful. What is this?"
Yeah.
I missed it. Yeah.
Okay, so this took place throughout the year 2019, and it was a performance project that was developed through emergent strategy. And the idea was that we were making performance events that we were referring to our performance events as mushrooms, right? Like,
okay.
And the ensemble of artists that we were working together, we were calling our process the mycelial network. So if you don't know, mycelium is the like underground root structure of mushrooms.
Okay,
so like
I didn't know.
In the soil, right? In the composted soil. There's always spores, and which are like seeds sort of mushrooms, and always underground there's like mycelial network is like always there in the soil. And then only when the conditions are right, like when it rains or when it's like just the right amount of sun and whatever the mushroom needs, when the conditions are right, that's when you see a mushroom will like spring up. But always underneath the ground, these like roots, these mycelium roots are always interconnected and like transferring chemicals and like moving things under the earth.
I know nothing about this. I'm learning
so wild. It's so wild.
I'm learning so much right now.
We were thinking of like our artistic practice as mycelium. So we were like, we are always connected. We are always transferring ideas. We are always transferring the way that we work together, right? Like it was always in process and in motion. And then when the conditions were right, a mushroom performance would emerge. So we had
that is a really beautiful way to describe devising as an ensemble.
Yeah. Thank you.
You should like write that down. No, seriously, like that analogy, like that whole thing, like that's a beautiful way to describe devising as an ensemble. It's like a base for a teaching structure.
This is part of when I said it was sort of based in emergent strategy. A lot of what Adrienne Marie Brown talks about in her book is this idea of like biomimicry, and like trying to be more in tune with what we can learn from natural processes and natural systems. So we were like, what if we were to think about theater making, performance making itself at like, how can we be aligned with natural systems and natural structures, taking mushrooms as an example. And so this is sort of what when we map.
That's a whole chapbook.
Totally.
I'm dead serious. That's a whole chapbook. Like just the idea, like if you don't write it, I will. I'll give you credit. I'll shout you out in like the front.
Amazing.
But I mean, seriously, I think that's because when people, first of all, especially non-artists, right?
Yeah.
When you're discussing things like, for instance, like playback, I'm a playbacker, right?
Right.
So, and I love and Theater of the Oppressed too, but I'm not so much into form as much as I love invisible theater. That's my favorite.
I never got into that. Maybe I just didn't do it with the right people.
There's something about like non-artists, non-performers. When they figure out that they're in a performance and they turn the shit on and become like the best performers ever. Like it's like so I love it. Like it's because it's just natural impulse, real gritty, cool shit. So I love invisible theater is my favorite, and I first saw it done very well in Senegal. But I would say as a playbacker, people, one of the biggest thing is like you create an ensemble, but the goal of the ensemble is to train the ensemble well enough for them to go out and create their own ensembles. It's not to keep that core group of people forever. You take it and you go figure out where to heal next and keep going until we have this ecosystem of ensembles doing this really beautiful healing work. And it sounds almost exactly like what you just described with the mushrooms.
We're
mushrooming.
We had
it's a term now.
We had at one point we were inviting people to make spores.
Make the spores.
To make a spore, and there was an invitation. It's on the website, you can see.
I'm gonna
it says something like, if you want to get involved and you want to make an artistic response to any of the mushrooms, make your own spore and like send us documentation, like send us a video, send us an image, send us whatever you want. And we actually had some challenges with like trying to communicate. I think we were using a lot of like metaphors and language that were hard for people to understand. But to your point, it's like there was an invitation that.
You have to explain the metaphor.
But we just didn't want it to like stay inside our ensemble. We were wanting people to like branch out and branch out and branch out. Yeah.
Are you gonna do it again?
This project, I don't have plans currently to remount any of this work, but I think I've learned so much from the process of making that work that I'm interested in like iterating on the process that we designed and in like future projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you working on right now?
Oh my God, what am I working on right now? So many things.
I believe you. Oh, wait. No. We're not there yet.
Oh, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Go back.
I got to ask you some questions.
Oh, please ask me questions.
I'll ask you some questions. Because, see, this is what we're here for. We're here for, one of my big things is people that I know who I feel like do boss-ass work, especially advocacy-centered work, people-centered work, right? We often just tie them to their work, and we forget that they're also real people who have, like, real things that they like and do. You know what I'm saying? And so,
why am I crying?
Because you're often needing to be witnessed to. You're a witness me. So I want to be, I want to say like, look, okay. So we're going to start easy.
Okay.
This game does not have a name, but it will one day soon.
Okay, perfect.
I feel like I was freestyling. Yeah, somebody needs to book me. All right. I'm growing in skills. All right. First question. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite song right now?
My favorite song right now. I've been listening to Lizzo's Jerome a lot, like kind of on repeat.
Wait, which song is this?
Jerome.
Oh
yeah,
like Jerome in the hot house.
Yeah, well, I mean that's not the song, but
I know, but I mean like that's
the name. Yeah.
You're like actually not that.
Yeah.
I don't know any. I'm embarrassed to say I don't know any of her songs. Oh, I know who Lizzo is because I'm tired of people talking about like I only know her because people keep saying they want her to put clothes on. I think she looks perfectly fine.
What? I haven't heard that. I think she's great.
I think she's dope. Well, that whole like there's like the whole conversation about like body image and like people not understanding how someone can be absolutely proud of themselves and love their body because it doesn't match with it.
That's nonsense.
That's ridiculous, right? Yeah. So that's the only thing. That's the only way I ever heard of her. Oh. And I was never interested enough to listen to her music. But now I'm going to go listen to Jerome.
Oh, yeah, you got to. Yeah. She's great.
Now I'm going to listen to Jerome. Okay.
And then you'll be like, what is wrong with Annalisa?
And I might reach out and ask if you're okay. I
look forward to
it. Is there a such thing as perfect?
Like in general?
In general.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. What does that mean? I don't know. I think isn't perfect like.
I knew this was going to be hard for you. I just knew it.
Yeah, I don't think there's such a thing as. I think it's like individual idea. Like everybody has a different perception of what perfect is, and like in different like perfect in like what a perfect glass of wine. Sure, maybe the wine that I'm drinking tonight is perfect.
Right, I was gonna say this is pretty damn perfect. Mm-hmm. Pretty damn perfect.
Perfect what? Perfect humans? I don't that no.
No. I think there is a such thing as perfect. If just like you said, like if you've defined what perfect is for you.
Yeah.
Right? Like yeah.
It's like people getting like people having what they need. Like that
feels like
that it feels good, right? Like right. I don't know when I call it perfect though. I feel like it feels right. It feels good, Yeah. When people are getting what they need. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's almost kind of like the idea of freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you do today that you could not do a year ago?
A year ago. I'm trying to think about who I was a year ago in the midst of this pandemic. I'm working on a screenplay right now, which is a new adventure for me. And I feel like I have learned quite a lot just by trying to write a screenplay.
Yeah, big difference from theater.
Yeah. And like last year I had really just kind of started that adventure. And this year, actually, is it next week? It's either next week or the weekend after. I don't know what day it is. I think it's 2 weeks from now. I'm participating in this cohort at Johns Hopkins through the Saul Zaentz Innovation Fund for film and media. And I don't know, I guess I've convinced enough people that I know something about what I'm doing that I was accepted to this cohort of like Baltimore filmmakers. So they'll be helping me craft my pitch around this project. So don't ask me my pitch because I still have to practice it next week.
Okay, all right. I was 2 seconds off asking you your pitch. Not gonna lie. You got me just in time. I learned how to jog.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know how to run.
It's the whole thing. You have to like get into it, and then you have to it's not for everyone, I don't think.
It's not for me. But I did learn how to jog. I can jog now. I could not jog last year. I'm proud of that shit.
That's great.
Yeah. That's you don't know how I don't do exercise. So I'm out here low-key jogging on these hoes. All right. It's exciting. What is the meaning of peace for you?
Oh my God. I thought you were like, these are easy questions.
I lied. The first one was easy.
Oh, okay. What is the meaning of peace? Huh.
Or describe your perfect day off.
Oh, that feels like 2 different things.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay. Well, then I want the first one first.
Peace. Wow. I don't know why this feels like a big question that I don't know how to give a real answer to in a way that is like not just surface level. You know, like I feel like I really want to think about this and be thoughtful with how I respond to it.
That's a prompt for a Facebook post, and you need to tag me.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Okay. But so now you can describe your perfect day off.
Okay, my perfect day off. Which I would also define as like day off from my day job at Baltimore Center Stage, but also a day off from like writing and from producing with Groundwater and like really just like not actually working.
Yeah, full day off.
Yeah. Okay, then coffee is involved in the morning. Definitely coffee. And like good breakfast, some kind of like nutritious, healthful, good breakfast. And then like as much time outside as possible. Maybe it's like playing in the dirt.
Playing in the dirt is legitimately we all should do that. Yeah.
Truly.
Necessary. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And then like curling up with a book, like, and a glass of wine. Like that's my day off.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's easy. I feel like everybody I asked are like sleep. I'd be sleep.
I mean,
I don't know if I'd be sleep. I don't know. I had this thing the other day. It kind of felt like a croissant, but it was flat. And it had sun-dried tomatoes baked into it. And then it had like 2 different types of cheeses that was like pushed into the center.
What?
And like,
I get one of these.
I don't know if I can send it to you. Oh, I'll be in DC. Maybe I could bring it. We'll talk about that offline. But it was the most divine breakfast I had because I added it to like, I had my, added it to my stuff. It was so good. And that usually made me think of that.
You make it?
No, did I make it, girl? I don't bake. I can cook, but I don't bake. I got it from the fresh market up the street.
Oh.
But it was so delicious. You just made me think about that. All right, next question. You made me think. How would you describe your future in 3 words?
My future in 3 words.
Also, can you lift up that microphone so we can see what you're working with over there? That's like a whole situation.
Whoa. Yeah, it's a podcast mic. Hello.
Nice. Legit.
Yeah, my future in 3 words. Abundant, I hope.
Abundant, yes. You know, we're in the portal. Abundant. Everything we say we want, we say it as if it's ours.
Abundant. Mm-hmm,
yes.
Mm-hmm. What's like one word for like meaningful friendships? Like meaningful I don't know what one word is for that.
Love.
Like relation. Oh, love. Yeah, love, or like relational. Like, I don't know how to say.
I feel like nurtured.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that. Nurtured. Mm-hmm.
Nurtured.
Yeah.
I think that'd be one of mine.
What'd you say?
I'm stealing that. That's
okay, great. See, we came up with it together. You're not stealing it. We did that together. And then service, I think.
You'll still be working.
Yeah, but like good work, I hope.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, those are good ones. I had to think about it. I had to put it into context, you know, like it says when people ask you questions like that, for real, it's, I mean, and of course I just asked it, so I'm the shithead right now, but when people ask you questions like that, it's like, it's a telltale about like how you prioritize life, right? Some people, you know, abundance for me it crosses so many. Like I almost would include nurturing, like the nurture part into my abundance. I consider that like as part of my abundance.
Yeah.
You know? All right. This is called, you've done this before. You're a theater head. So all my theater heads, I've tried to get them to do this with me. Create a story, the one word stories.
Oh no.
Are you bad at this? Are you bad?
Are we doing that?
Are you bad at this? Because I'm good at this.
I'm so bad at it, but we can do it, and it'll just be really funny and stupid.
Are you one of the ones that's like the and
Yeah. Listen, I have like taught this game with middle school students all the time. So it's not like I don't know how to play this game. I'm just so bad at it.
Right. We've had some profound one word story situations, and we've had, you know, we've had to work. We've had to go twice, but it's fine. All right. Who starts, me or you?
Do we have a topic for the story, or is it just like
no? We're just gonna roll. We're just gonna tell a story.
See, with middle schoolers, you have to give them a topic.
Do you want a topic? Okay, we can have a topic.
I'm just saying, with middle schoolers, if you don't give them a topic, it's like, and then he farted, and LOL. Like it just becomes about fart jokes and people pooping.
Okay. So maybe for me, we should have a topic. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. So, do you want a topic or no? Don't chug.
We don't have a topic. We don't have. Okay, just go. Yeah, drink the wine and then let's go.
Okay. Once
there
happened
to
be
a
prolific
writer
who
decided
they
would
never
give
away
their
manuscript.
So
it
was
stolen.
Then I told you I'm bad at this game.
Wait. This is me dropping the ball. Wait, then
what?
Oh, this isn't wine either. I'm not drinking wine. I'm drinking this, and it's like 13.9% alcohol.
Oh my God.
I might be tipsy. Then they
Went
insane. Worst story ever. Let's try again. Start over.
Okay.
There
was
a
dragon
that
longingly
wished
they
could
go
fly. I feel like that's the story.
Oh, okay.
There was a dragon that longingly wished they could fly. I'm the dragon.
Oh,
I'm the dragon.
Oh
my God. Okay, first of all, I've had so much fun talking to you. Let me say this. I've had so much fun talking to you. I had no idea. I knew that I knew I was gonna enjoy this conversation. I don't care if anybody else enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation.
Same.
I'm excited to see when you write the book about mushrooming as an analogy for devised theater.
Yeah.
It's only got to be 20 pages, and put it on your website. Okay. Put it on your website, sell it for $6.99 a piece. Like, it's gonna be.
I gotta learn business strategy from you because I'm no good at it.
Passive income. I got you. Mm-hmm. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna make you a solo screen, and you're gonna tell us what you're working on.
Oh my God.
What you're working on, where we can find you, and how we can support you. Yeah. And I will take notes in the comments while you speak. Cool? Are you ready? I'm making you solo layout.
Wow, here I am. It's me. What am I working on? Where can you find me? You can find me at on Instagram at Annalisa Dias, or on Twitter at AJBM. Or I have a website, which if you just Google Annalisa Dias, it should be the first thing that comes up. And the few things, let me plug a couple of things at Baltimore Center Stage that are coming up in the next few weeks, which are, one is this Friday, November 5th, at 8:30 p.m. at Baltimore Center Stage, live and in person. We are having the second of our BCS Soundcheck series, and this one is featuring B. Steadwell, who many of the DC Baltimore scene y'all should know B. And
we
love B. Yeah, and so B is going to be doing like a somatic healing chanting meditation situation at Baltimore Center Stage, and it's $10 tickets, and it's on Friday night, so check that out. And then on November 29th, which is the Monday after Thanksgiving, we're having another of our Baltimore Butterfly Sessions events, and this one will be focused on seeding change, which is it'll be a conversation with urban farmers and urban gardeners here in Baltimore, and it'll be featuring John Tyler of the Love Groove Festival, and Olu Woods from Do More Baltimore is going to be sharing some poetry, and it'll be all about the harvest season and connecting to land and place. You see there's a theme in everything that I do, and I will say personally that I'm also working on the screenplay that I mentioned. It's called Akilandeshvari, and I'm excited to be part of the Hopkins Saul Zaentz Fund cohort, and I'll keep you all posted on the outcome of this film as we develop it. And then I'm also working on another project called The Invention of Seeds, which is it's a play that hopefully will make its appearance in the world next year, but TBD on who the partners are as we confirm all of these things. And yes, I see hold me accountable to the film situation. Yes, thank you. I need the accountability. And I should say one more time, Groundwater Arts, we are running this Divest to Invest campaign, and we dropped the link into the chat earlier. And if you would like to sign up as an individual or push your organization to sign the pledge to divest from fossil fuels, there's ways for both individual artists and for arts organizations to sign the pledge to divest from fossil fuels. And we hope that you do before the end of the year. Did I do it, Mariam? I think I did it.
You killed it. I'm coming back now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
you.
don't leave me.
It was all you, darling. It was all for you.
Thank you.
I think you are fucking fabulous, yo.
Hey,
And
back at you.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. And I just keep, like, I know we need breaks. Take your breaks. Take your breaks. I haven't seen you post anything about vacations or anything like that. So take your breaks.
Thank you. Heard.
But we're out here. We see you. Your name comes up in so many conversations. People respect you and they admire you. I don't know if they tell you enough to your face, but I'm telling you now.
I'm really gonna cry.
Don't get all sappy on me, sis. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
tears are real. Tears are real, though. Tears are real. I let me tell you something. I don't offer gratuitous compliments. It's not something I'm good at. As a matter of fact, I'm really terrible at it. So in order for me, like, I'm saying these things because I burned out twice. And it took a lot for me to come back, right? But witnessing people like you, watching the Lori Pitts and all the folks that are out here just working. It didn't necessarily make me want to go back to where I started, but it did remind me that there is purpose and that there are other people working alongside me and that I'm not out here by myself. And so for that, I say thank you. And I hope that you see, us in the same way, and that offers you some type of sense of I'm not out here alone.
Yeah.
And that you rest.
Thank you.
So we are going to be done for tonight. I'm going to have you back because I ruined the whole conversation of teaching you guys anything about. There was no way.
We just had a robust conversation about compost. That's all.
We were just reconnecting. Tonight was not the night to learn about climate justice. You're going to have to come back for another show.
Okay.
I apologize. It was for me. But there's I think that you have a lot for us to learn. You could teach us a lot. And I'm not going to force you into a position of, doing more than you're already doing. But I will ask, thank you. Hey, Toots. Toots said it was dope. I will ask that you be as aggressive in your beliefs as you are in your marketing, so that we can find you and we can see you.
Okay, thank you.
Seriously, even if that just means sending a couple of us, an inbox saying this is what I'm doing, so that we can be aggressive on your behalf, right? It's only useful if we know if it's being seen, right? So, and I'm offering that space to you. I don't don't y'all start sending me.
It's just for me.
Right. Because as soon as I said that, I was going 17 by Emma. And it doesn't happen today. It'll happen like Thursday. I'll get like 17 people send me something because you said on the throw with Annalisa. No, what I mean is I want you particularly to send me your things, and I can, help push those things out.
Thank you.
But it's been another Tribe Talking on a Tuesday. It has been another. This is our 11th show. Do you know? This is so exciting for me.
I'm proud of you.
Every Tuesday.
It's amazing.
When I realized I was loving what I was doing is when I still did the shows and like while we were displaced in a hurricane. I was like, no, I got a Tuesday. I got this Tribe Talking on Tuesday. I got to figure this thing out. That's when I realized I love this. So I love y'all. Yeah. And this feels to me, I have COVID and this whole all of the pandemics happening right now. It's health, racial, economic, all this stuff going on. This has been a place of peace for me, a place of reprieve where I've been able to sit with people that I think are like in vision and spirit. And it feels good, to laugh and to joke and to also be able to say like, look at what my homegirl's doing. So this has been good. So this is our 11th show, girl.
That's amazing.
It's popping. And look, 11th show. And I just told you earlier we're in the portal, right? So 11/1 was yesterday, and we're supposed to be praying and manifesting all the way through the 11th, so that this is the time to pray. So I said, so it's the 11th show. We just entered the 11th, the 111 portal. Look at all these numbers. I don't know anything about numerology.
Me neither. But I'm like, this sounds right to me.
But it sounds right. It feels and sounds right to me. I do not quote me. I'm not a master in numerology. I only know the very few things, but it seems to line up. It seems to line up. And so I'll challenge you also in this time to really be intentional about the way you speak about yourself, the way you speak about your work, and the way you wish people to receive the things that you are saying. Because I do think that, this stuff is going to outlive us, because it took longer. It took longer to get here than it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll never see the end of all of the efforts that we're creating, right? But we can know that we've sown the seeds, and that the people who are coming behind us have been trained in the way they need to get to the point where it can be fixed and it can be done. I think that's what you're doing. So just be intentional about the way you talk about yourself, at least until the 11th.
Okay, heard, received.
But in my head, always, always, always. All right. I love you, girl.
Love you back.
Have a good night. Thank you guys for showing up. And you can always, for the folks who want to share this, please share this and let your friends know they can rewatch it on YouTube. They can rewatch it on Facebook, and it will be in our on our Instagram. Everything at HBC 430. Hissing Black Cat 430 is everything that we do with good standing, and we know that it's going to bring us abundance and brilliance. Thank you. I'll talk to y'all soon. And it takes a few seconds.